Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Today on Doodle Draw Art, I'm doing a collaboration video with Florence from Teacher Tales, and she's currently the only Australian primary school teacher who's vlogging about her teaching experiences. So check out her link in the video description, and also you can watch her video that corresponds to this one to see how her students did when they tried out this tutorial. They're very young and they're going to do their very best. So let's get started. All right, so when you draw a facial portrait, you're going to want it to look like your face. But the most important thing in getting any facial portrait accurate is in creating the right proportions within the face. So the details are great, and you can learn how to draw an eye realistically. But if you don't have the eye in the right place on the person's face, then you don't end up with a very realistic looking portrait. So what we're going to do today is we're going to find out how to establish these proportions for your face. So I have a pencil and an eraser. Erasers are super important anytime you're doing art. And I also have a ruler, which we'll probably use, we might not. I guess we can use it just to get started on making the face the right size. So it's easier to draw a face from reference, and it's also easier to be able to look at your drawing as the same size. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put my ruler underneath the chin, and it's going pretty straight across the page here. And here's a trick to see if you're going straight. If you're using a ruler, you see how here on the edge of my page, my ruler is not crooked like this. It's lined up exactly with the edge of the paper. That's usually a good sign that my ruler is straight. So here I have the ruler just underneath the chin. So I'm going to draw a little line with my pencil here to show me that's where the chin's going to go. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the very top of the head. So I'm going to move my ruler up to the top. I'm going to find the very top of the head right here. I'm just going to make another line over here, just a nice faint line to show where the top of the head can go. So this is where my face is going to be. And I'm going to try to make it the same size as this one. So first thing I can do is I can make a little curve at the top here. That's going to be the top of the head. And then I can make a curve at the bottom here. That's going to be the chin. So this is just in the middle of the page. It's not perfect. I'm just getting the proportions for the face. So let's go ahead and draw in the cheeks of the face. So here's our little chin. We're just going to draw a face that comes down like this and touches in at the chin. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll have the cheeks that come down like this and come into the chin. And then we can fill in the top of the face here by bringing this line down and connecting, and the same thing here, bringing it down and connecting. All right, so let's do some measuring, okay? You can use anything to measure. You could actually measure. So you could take the ruler and measure it on here, or you could use just your hand. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover up the nose and the eyes of my portrait. And I see here I'm covering it up with 2 fingers. The nose is just peeking out underneath, and the eyebrows are just under there. So everything of the eyes and the nose fits in this amount of space on my portrait. So if I now just keep that spot where the bottom of the nose is, and if I put my 2 fingers here again and cover up from that spot going down, I'm going to see that that's the same amount of space that it takes to get to the very bottom of the chin. So I could now go over here on my picture and make a line. So here's the bottom of my chin. Here's where the bottom of my nose is going to be. So I'm just going to make a little line right there. So that's the spot right here where the bottom of the nose is going to go. Now remember, when I covered up these things, the eyes and the nose, it took the same amount of space. So the eyebrows are going to go just underneath this line here. So if I put my hand back now with the bottom of my fingers right there where that line is, and I make another line here, I'm just going to go very gently. That is where the eyebrows are going to be, underneath that. So all of the nose and all of the eyes are going to be in here. Now, you might also notice that the distance between the eyebrows and the hairline is the same amount of space. So if I take my fingers again, make a little line right here, I'll see that that's where the hair is going to start. So what I have is 2 lines showing the full size of my face, And then I have a line for the bottom of the nose, a line for the top of the eyebrows, and a line for where the hair is going to begin. So now that we have the space available, we can start to put the details in for our portrait. So if we start off with the nose, actually noses are hard to draw because people try to draw the nose, but we're just going to draw the idea of the nose, and we've already got the first part done. Okay, we've got a little line here. That's for like this bottom of the nose. And then we can make two little lines here for the top of the nose. So that's just showing that there's nostrils here. So first we had a little curve down line, and then we have a couple of little curve up lines. Not very much is showing here for the nose, just tiny little lines. And then we can draw this line here that shows the edges of the nose. But again, we're not going to draw much of this nose. So from this little edge here, we're going to have a line that goes up, curving. And on the other side, we're going to have a line that goes up, curving. So that's it. That's all we're going to draw for the nose. Just these little lines here showing that that's the bottom of the nose. And then we're going to draw something to show where the nose is coming up the side of the face. So if we draw this little shadow here, that's going to help us see where the nose, the bone of the nose is. So this line where we had the eyebrow is where we're going to start. So we're going to take a little dot right there, just underneath our line, just underneath our faint line. And we're just going to draw a bit of a curve, but we're not going to come all the way down to here. So we're going to make a little line that comes down toward the nose. So from here, make a little curve in and then back out. So that's the shadow for the nose. And then we can draw in the eyes. So we could start with the eyebrows. And we can see that the eyebrow starts just where that shadow ended. So this curved line is pointing right at the eyebrow. And the eyebrow is going to come really close to the edge of the face. So I'm going to take my pencil, I'm just going to make a line here that shows where my eyebrow is going to go curving up and toward the edge of the face. And I can do the same thing on the other side. So if I look at the nose, I see that the eyebrow is just above here. And I'm going to make a curved line that comes out toward the edge of the face. So just curving like this and toward the middle. All right, so these are the eyebrows for the face. And if you want to, you could even start to fill in all the little lines for the eyebrows. Why not? Because the eyebrow isn't just a single line. It's kind of, well, it's very, very hairy. It's made of little hairs. So there you have one eyebrow, and on the other side, another eyebrow. And all the lines are pointing sort of the same way. They're pointing towards the ears and up a little bit. All right, so there we have a couple of eyebrows now and a nose. And then the next thing we need to do is draw the eyes. So how big are the eyes? That's a good question. You could measure, all right? So you want them to be the same size, but let's compare them maybe to the nose. There's different ways you can do that. You could cover them up with your fingers. So I see that the nose is exactly 2 fingers wide. And if I go up here, I see so are the eyebrows, exactly 2 fingers wide. So I've got my nose, oh, I did a good job, and my fingers are covering up the eyebrows. Now, that's helpful because I can see that the size of these eyes are pretty much 1 squished finger. You can use anything at all. If you had, like a cover or something, or a piece of paper or a ruler, you can find something that's the right size, or you can actually measure how big the eye is. This eyeball is about 1 squished finger. So I'm going to put my finger here. I'm going to make a dot on one side. I'm going to make a dot on the other side. And that is where the eye is going to go. So now I'm going to make a very small curve going up to this side of the eye, and a very small curve going under from that side. Now, here's a fun trick. However big your eye was, that's about how much space there is between the eyes. So if I put my finger down here again and I squish, this is going to be where the other eye starts. And then I can put my pencil back down, or my finger back down, and make my other dot on the other side and do the same thing. So I'll make a line that goes up over the eye on this side and then comes underneath the eye on this side. And now we've got the placement for both eyes. Notice You always think your eyeball is round, a round ball, but it is. It's just hidden behind your eyelids. So when you draw in the color of your eye, what you're going to notice is that it's just a little arc showing inside the eye. So all you have to do here is make a little curve this way and another little curve this way. And mostly what's showing here is the dark middle of your eye, whatever color your eyes are. And then on the outside, you can see the whites of the eyes. All right, so then you can color that in whatever color your eyes are. I'm just going to make these ones nice and dark. And the same thing for this other eye. You see on the inside of the eye, you're just going to have a tiny little bit of white showing, and then this curve of the colored part of your eye, the iris. And then on the other side, same thing, just a little curve to finish it. Now these should be around the same size as each other. Try to keep your proportions equal. And when you're a new artist, that can be tricky. All right, so now we have the right place for the eyes, the right place for the nose, and then we can start to add in the mouth. So down here, underneath the nose, you're gonna jump down to the top of your lip, and you can just make a nice, now this smile is pretty big, all right? So let's look down from the eyes and see that where the eyeballs are, that's pretty much how far out the smile is going. So these eyeballs, the smile is gonna come right out to here. These two little dots here are showing how far out the smile goes. So now all I have to do is make the top lip going up and over like so. And then we can draw in so lips are not as big as you think either. Over here, there's not even any lip. The line's going to come right back along itself. And then this part of the lip is going to come underneath and then back up, and then it's going to connect in again at the top. So this is like the colored in part of the top lip up here. Maybe even comes in a little closer on this particular picture that I'm drawing from. Then we have the opening of the smile. So again, let's just see how big that is. It's not that big. You think it is. The whole mouth is going to go right to here. All right, so let's make the bottom half of the bottom lip. We're just going to bring our line from in here, come down and up to the other corner again. So this is the outside edge of the bottom lip, but we need to draw the lip itself. So let's go in here and make sort of a bump that goes down and up because the lip does that. And then again, it gets thinner and thinner as it comes out to the sides here, but it's a little thicker than the top lip usually. So we'll just make a little curve here, coming in from the back and over. You don't have to make your lips perfect, but it's nice to get an idea of the shape of lips. And then there's teeth in here, but we're not going to draw every single tooth because that would be very hard to do and wouldn't look right either, because we don't usually look at individual teeth. We just kind of notice that people have white teeth. So I'll draw the shadows in the very back corners here. And then I'll just draw a little line here in the middle that sort of shows that there's a division between these teeth. And then I might just draw the little bumps underneath the teeth because you can see a little bit of that. So that's just some details here. We're not really worried too much about details. This lesson mostly just helping you get your proportions right. So next thing we're going to do is check out how big the face is, because we just drew these sketch lines in to help us, but you can see that my face needs to be a little bit wider in the cheeks here. So you can have a look at that and fix your proportions to make it look more like the actual person that you're drawing, which could be you. All right, and then we can just erase that. And so now we have the basic shape of the face, the basic placement of all of the facial features, and now we can draw in the hair. So you have to decide what kind of hair you have. Maybe you have curly hair, maybe you have straight hair, maybe you have long hair, maybe you have short hair, maybe you have no hair. I have not seen you, so I do not know, but you know. So I know that the top of the hair here is going to come up around this high. So there's one nice curl here and another nice curl here. And then the rest of the face, I'm not going to be too picky about drawing all of the hairs, but the rest of the shape of the hairline is just going to come along like this. So I'm just doing wiggly because this is curly hair. So some more wiggles on this side, and I might just draw one more curl there. And then some more wiggly lines that come out to the side and down. as I am drawing curly hair. And then we put in the ears, okay? So we've got the hairline that comes down in the front, and you can see that the bottom of the nose is the same place where the bottom of the ears is. So if I come out to the side here, I can make little lines to show where the bottom of the ears is going to go. And then I can just draw a curve coming out like this for the bottom of the ear, and a curve coming out like this for the bottom of the ear. And if you were drawing the top of the ear, you would see that it usually comes right out to where the eyes are. So it will be up like this, but we can't see the top of the ear because of the curls. So now I'm just going to draw in the shape of the hair. So I had a line at the top here, so I know that that's how high the hair is. I'm just going to draw some nice wiggly lines out here to show the shape of the curly hair. And it's coming in close to the ear, and it comes down behind the ear. So your neck is attached to your head, which is important. So when you draw the neck, you have to imagine it being attached to your head. So again, if you think about the eyes and then you look at the neck, you can see that the width here of the neck is something like the width between the eyes. So if we come down here, we can make the neck. I'm going to make mine just here in the curve of the jaw, and it's just going to come down like this. That's the neck. And then on this side, same thing, find the curve of the jaw, you're underneath the eyes, and then you're just going to bring the neck down. And again, you can erase all of these little guidelines that you were using to get your portrait established. So when drawing your facial portrait, you should first get good at finding proportions, how far apart everything is compared to the other things in your picture, because that's the important thing. You need to make sure that your portrait has a good balance. Your eyes aren't too high, they aren't too low, they aren't too big, they aren't too small. And you need to make sure that they're all very proportional for the picture that you're actually drawing, not for just a general face. So that's why it's helpful to use these ideas like how much of the space does it take on here? How much does it, we can compare that these are the same distances. So if you were drawing a picture of like a total stranger and you can't go up and measure them, you can sort of get ideas by closing your eyes and just looking at things and comparing them as you study your model that you're drawing. And then you'll get better at proportions on your own. But generally speaking, the space that's showing on the face from the hairline to the chin is divided into thirds. That's why this distance is the same as this distance and this distance. So we have from the chin to the bottom of the nose, that's 1/3 of the shape of the face. Then from the bottom of the nose to the top of the eyebrows, that's another 1/3 of the distance. And then from the top of the eyebrows to the bottom of the hairline is another 1/3 of the distance. So those are all equal. The other thing was that the size of the eye is equal to the size of the distance between the eyes pretty much. And the nose is going to line up underneath your eye, like so. The bottom of the ears lines up with the bottom of the nose, and the top of the ears lines up somewhere around the top of the eyes in here. So those are the ways that you can go about getting your facial proportions just right when you're drawing people. And that's my lesson for today on basic facial proportions. So I would love to see how you did drawing some facial proportions. If you want to share them with me, you can find me on Instagram, and you can also find me on Twitter and Facebook, and you can just comment here on YouTube. Let me know what you think of this whole idea. And that is it. So please come back for more, and also please check out Miss Florence's vlog here on YouTube at Teacher Tales, where you can see how her students did making facial proportions. Awesome. Thanks for watching. See you next time.